Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Slone Stitches. If you're new here, my name is Jess. I am 39 years old and I live in a suburb of Cincinnati, Ohio. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. How are you? Good to see you. How have you been? We're back on Tuesdays. I think some people saw I threw a little note up in the community tab. First time ever doing that. So I think I did it right. Just as a reminder, we're back to Tuesdays. Mondays during the school year are hectic, to say the least, getting everyone out the door and getting everything organized. And we always have volleyball practice on Mondays. So just easier for me to move it back to Tuesdays now that summer break is winding down. And summer break is winding down, which is crazy. My son goes back to school next week on Thursday, and it will be the culmination of a really wild last couple of weeks here for us in the Slone house. Let's see, crazy things that happened. So one of my cats, Scout, she has kidney stones, and it was 3 vet appointments before they finally did an x-ray and found that she did have those stones. And so she's locked in our room. She's on a special food. We had to give her medicine, which she is not a medicine kind of gal. And that was interesting. In the midst of all that, my husband got sick. He was really down and out and finally agreed to go to the hospital 2 Sundays ago. Ended up the hernia, which is a very large hernia that they've been keeping an eye on for the last 3 or 4 years now, finally was ready to be repaired. It was almost an emergency situation. Kind of was. I mean, he went into the hospital Sunday night and they had that thing under operating room procedures by 9 o'clock the next morning. So it's all fixed. He's been home for about 5 days now. So that's been interesting, dealing with all of that. And then sadly, you've heard me talk to my little Clover girl, my 18-year-old cat, in several videos asking her to please be quiet. We did have to put her down this past Friday. So my son was super brave for an 11-year-old especially. And since my husband had just come home the day before, he came with me to the appointment. And it was very sad, but it was very obviously her time and we miss her. And it's pretty quiet around here. But I do have a piece that I started. I had one last stitching session with her the night before she left us. So I will show that here in just a little bit. So we still have 3 cats, but she was my first baby before I had a baby. So it's been, an interesting few days adjusting to not having her around the house. But with all of that going on, we've got back to school things starting up. Volleyball practice starts on Monday. Open houses on Monday. My husband's follow-up appointments Monday. We're just going to go straight back into the regular rhythm of life, and we're going to do it with a bang. So in all of that, I did have time to stitch. A lot of stitching time in the hospital, that's for sure, because my in-laws thankfully did come Gavin the day my husband had surgery. My best friend took him when we had to go into the ER on the Sunday. So I was able to spend pretty much all day, every day in the hospital with him, which was very nice, very boring. So I did get a lot done. And in between trying to get our lives together, I've been doing quite a bit of stitching. So I do have 2 finishes to show. That's very exciting. So I'm going to start first with a Christmas in July finish. And I had actually started this for Christmas in July, and I wrapped it up. It's very small. It's the strawberry for Reindeer Games from Erica Michaels. I did this on a 32 count piece of something. It's a linen. At first I thought it was vintage Country Mocha, but it's got the dye on both sides, so it's definitely not that. I think it might be a Forbidden Fiber Co. Maybe a Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. Could be. But anyway, I finished it. Here it is. He's super cute. The bells are like specialty stitches, which this linen is a very loose weave, so it was kind of interesting. trying to get them to stay where I wanted them to stay, but we got it. It all worked out. So now I need to get my craft room together so that I can easily use all of my supplies and get this finished up into a strawberry, because I do have a plan for this for Christmas this year. It's going to be a gift. So we need to get him all fixed up. So there's Rudolph. I love those tiny little letters. They were a pain to stitch because those are 1/1. But other than that, this was super easy, super quick. Only took me a few stitching sessions. I finished this on the 25th, so it was an actual Christmas in July finish. I had so many plans for the 25th. I was gonna just have a free-for-all with Christmas in July. Stitch on all of my Christmas projects at random, whatever, wherever the wind takes you. And that was the day that Scout had her 3rd appointment with the x-rays and all that. So all of my plans went out the window. And then the next day, my husband started getting sick. What are you going to do? That's life, right? Okay. The next one is also a little start and finish. I started this in the hospital with my husband and finished it within 2 days. It's got cat hair on it because, of course, it does in this house. Everything with this project was free from StitchCon. I found the 25 count black lugana on the freebie table. So this is stitched 1/1. The pattern is from La-Di-Da. It's called Queen of the Needle. It was a freebie in the StitchCon guidebook, the online guidebook that we got. And then the 2 flosses I used were a green that was a BeStitchMe pistachio that Ashley gave me, and then a Color and Cotton pink mist dye that I got from Jenny. She bought like a whole hank of it and gave it out, which was a cool idea. I need to put something behind this. So very quick little project, but it turned out so good. So I'll read it out to you. It says, "In my little kingdom of stitches that cross, I am queen of the needle and boss of the floss." Isn't that cool? I love that. So definitely going to get that all framed up and put it on my stitching bookshelf in my room, or maybe it'll go in the craft room once that's all put together. So I was a little worried that the colors would look a little too crazy, especially together, but I think it worked out really well. And I like what I did here with this motif down the middle, or down the bottom, I guess, all across the center. I used both colors when on the pattern. Obviously, this was just meant to be like a monochrome or whatever you wanted to do, but I thought it looked cool with the pink in it like that. Kind of draws your attention a little more, draws in the pink, since all the rest of that border is the green. Both of these flosses were great to work with, by the way. And I really loved the 25 count lugana in the black. Black fabric does not scare me. When I returned to cross stitching in 2018, I picked up a kit from Joanne, and it was on like a really dark blue Aida, and I just didn't think anything of it. I just stitched it, and everyone was like, "That's your first project coming back? You did all this on a dark Aida?" And I was like, "It didn't bother me." So maybe because I didn't know any different and I just did that, my brain doesn't care about dark colors. So highly recommend the 25 count black. That's fun. I love that one. I can't wait to get that put somewhere. Okay. Let's do some works in progress, some whips. I do have a couple of starts to show you once I've got these all put aside. We're going to go in order. So I do have some Christmas in July wrap up, and then I have some Stitch Go and Whip Go goals that I accomplished for July. So let's start with Santa's Night Tree from Hello from Liz Mathews. This is where it was when you saw it in my last Flosstube, because I had been working on it then too. Not a ton of difference, but I did want to show it because I got in the first house and it's so cute. Isn't that cute? Sorry, the lighting is terrible today. That's a little... I just love that little house. The little shutters, or I guess maybe they're supposed to be curtains. I can't tell, but they're super cute. So like I said, not a ton of progress, but you know, some stitches went in on it. And I think it looks really good. This is a piece of 32 count lugana from Zweigart. The color is Azure. So it's a little lighter of a blue than a lot of people use and what the model is stitched on, but I like it. And I honestly don't know. I obviously counted wrong when I measured this. I don't know if I have enough room to actually do the tree, but let's be honest, with my track record, would I have really turned this into a tree? Remains to be seen, but we'll do something with it. So won't be finished by this Christmas, that's for sure. But next Christmas, I think, shouldn't be too bad. That plaid was the bulk of the problematic stitching, I think. I can't wait to get up to Santa and his reindeer. That's going to be fun. The next thing that I worked on is Feather Fairy from Mirabilia. This was a whip go call for me in July. When you last saw her, this is what she looked like. We got a couple more leaves in, guys. She is taking shape, that's for sure. Here she is now. I can't handle it. You know, when you're stitching these leaves, you're putting them in, and I usually obviously do the outlining and the dark colors first, as you can see down there at the bottom. So I did that, and then I was putting in like the most drab looking yellow color I'd ever seen in my life. And I was like, is this right? Did a dye lot change? What is this? And then when I finished the full feather and I stepped back and I looked at it like that, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. It's fantastic. I'll bring it in a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. So these yellowish goldish leaves are what I put in this time. She's looking great. So as you could see from the first photo, her skirt comes, wow, there we go, all the way out to like here. Her hand is resting on it and all of that. So quite a bit of work to go. And obviously her legs and then all the back stitching beads, but I'm really happy with how this is turning out. She's looking great. And that's on a piece of 32 count. What is that? It's a Belfast linen in raw silver. It's Zweigart. I always love to tell people I got that for $1. Brand new. It was still in the Fat Quarter Shop package. It was at one of our local thrift stores. I was like, oh, I'll take that. Thank you very much. Okay. Back to some Christmas and my favorite bag that I've ever made, which I've only made a couple, but that's okay. I have all kinds of plans once that craft room is together. I have fabric and zippers and everything. This is North Pole by Kathy Barrick. I'm going to need to place the 1, 2, 3 stitch order because I'm starting to run out of the darker green, but that's okay. We'll get there. This is where you saw it last. And this is where it is now. So I kept going with some of the border. Let me fold this up a little bit for you. Kept going with border. And added in some reindeer and some cutie little trees. The variegation in the different greens. Like this is, I think, 3 different colors of floss in this tree. But then the floss itself is variegated. So it looks really, really 3-dimensional. I love it. So this is a long pattern. Like this will probably go down to about here. So still a lot of border left, but thankfully the border is only on these 2 sides. And this is a piece of 18 count aida in Hazelnut Creme from Grace Notes Fabrics. Just a half of it that I have left from a fabric of the month when I was in their club. I love those reindeer, they're so cute. So getting really close to being able to start on Santa because he's like right here. So love that. Can't wait to get this back out once I start doing my Christmas stitching. And I'll tell you, like, I think my rotation is cooked for the year, you guys. Because with everything going on in my life, I just want to start all the things and work on whatever the heck I see in my pile that I will. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to try and touch everything again between now and January when I film my 2026 whip parade. We'll see. The mood has struck me to just do whatever the heck I want. And I think I might just do that. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. Let's see. The next thing that I worked on was my Stitch Go for August. So we're getting into August here with whips, and that's Reaching Skyward from Modern Folk Embroidery. So if you're new, what I do is I take the Whip Go numbers that Jessie Marie calls each month, and I have my regular Whip Go board, but then I also have a board that I call my Stitch Go board. And each number on that board equates to numbers of hundreds of stitches that I put into one of two of my biggest projects. So I have Reaching Skyward on there, and I have my Heaven and Earth Designs full coverage on there as well. So both of them are called for this coming month. So this is my number 12 on Stitch Go. So I had to put 1,200 stitches in on Reaching Skyward, which is no problem at all. I did it in 2 days. This stitches up so fast. It is such rhythmic, geometric stitching, and I just love it. So this is where it was when you last saw it. And my expert folding here. I think I would be good at this by now. I am not. And this is a big piece of fabric. I should cut it down. This is where I am now. So 1,200 stitches really gets you a lot. I mean, it got a lot of fill in here. All of this. And then all of this over here. Right? Nope, that was already there. All of this went in. And then a little bit of there. Yeah, see, at least I can speak today. Last time I couldn't speak. Now I can't point. One day we might put it all together. This is going so well. It's over 30% now with those 1,200 that I put in. Doing great. This is a piece of 28 count mushroom lugana from Zweigart. I'm doing it 1/1. And I'm using 3 colors of DMC instead of the recommended 2 colors because I wanted those blue snowflakes. And I'm sorry if you've been watching since the beginning and you've heard me say that 15 times now. But, you know, for the newbies, for my new people, because there are several of you, and thank you. It's crazy. We're over 1,800 now. I don't know where you people are coming from. So, very happy with my progress on that. And that's put away now until at least September. So, but it's gotten so much love. Like making that Stitch Go board was probably the best idea that I had. Because otherwise, like I have the Hade and this on my Whip Go board like 4 times each, but that would have been really all the love they would have gotten, except if they came up in the rotation. So having this extra push with the Stitch Go board to touch them at least 12, one of them 13 times in a year for all those extra stitches is really helping push my progress along. So highly recommend if you have the time in your stitching life to do something like that. Even if you made it tens of stitches or like 20 or 50 stitches per whatever, it's something, and it really helps push it forward so you don't feel like your projects are getting stagnant. Highly recommend. Okay. My last whip that I already had going is 12 Movie Nights from Atomic Tiki Pins. Now, again, a reminder, mine is not going to look like the cover photo because there are alternate movies that you can put in, and I've chosen several of them to include. And I've also moved around a couple of movies and also recharted at least one to make it fit in a different block. So mine's a little different. It's on a piece of 28 count cashel linen in Alchemy. And picture this plus. And I mean, I showed you last time we had hit the bottom, which is great. This is what it looked like last time. And here's what it looks like now. So I moved it back across over there by Kevin. And I put in the border for the next box. And I started the next movie, which is going to be Nightmare Before Christmas. So I'll bring you in so you can see it a little bit better. You can see Oogie Boogie starting to take shape there. So have to finish him off and do the hill and Jack and Sally. And there's some backstitch involved with them. But other than that, this is a really fast little block, which is great because like this It's a Wonderful Life one down here obviously was not a fast little block. So love that. So then there'll just be, I think, one more here and 2 down at the bottom. So we'll only have 3 movies left to go. And then all that fill in the middle with the tree and all that. But that's okay. It looks like a lot of fun. And it's in Pattern Keeper. So, you know, once I'm not doing alternates and making adjustments and I'm just doing the middle fill-in parts, this is not going to be a big deal to sit and just knock it out. Again, not something that I think will be finished in time for this Christmas. Obviously, that's a lot of stitching left. But next Christmas is a definite possibility. I love this project. It's so fun to just be creative with it and try different things and put things where I want them. Love that. Okay, let's get into new starts. And one of them is a brand new start, and I almost wasn't going to show it today because I just started it yesterday, but then last night I had a ton of time to sit and stitch, and I wasn't expecting to have a ton of time to sit and stitch. So I got a lot of progress on it. I'm going to try and take a picture of this crazy cat. Ignore my son's laundry basket sitting in the middle of my kitchen. He needs to take it up and fold it and put it away. Can you see him? That's my audience right now. That's what I put up with. Anyway. So the first thing that I started since my last video is also Reindeer Games from Erica Michaels, but it's the Scrabble board. So it's the big hurrah. And I'm making this as a Christmas gift for someone that will remain nameless because I don't know if they're watching my videos. Kind of doubt it, but just in case, I don't want anyone to know what gift or item is for what for this Christmas, but I do want to show them on the Flosstube. So I started this on July 26th on 32 count lugana. This is vintage Country Mocha from Zweigart. I'm doing this 2/2 just because I wanted that fuller look because I'm going to frame it up in a certain way with a certain style, and I just thought it needed to not look super prim. So I wanted the fuller look. I put some work in on this. This is so much fun to stitch. Here's where it is. I got all that done in just a few days. Let me fold that one more time. I want you to be come in kind of close on it. The letters stitch super fast because that's what letters do. And the little motifs feel like little mini finishes every time I do them. Like the other night, I had like all of this and most of the tiles outlined. I had these snowflakes in, and I was like, okay, I would like to get in Rudolph, the elf, and the bells here. Did all that, finished all these outlines, and then I was like, oh, I still have time. I'll put in Cupid. So I haven't outlined him yet, but the stitches up super fast. In the instructions for the pattern, she says she didn't outline all of the tiles, just where they intersected. So like this would be all outlined because it intersects here, etc. And I mean, it looked cute on the model, but I like it better with all of the tiles outlined because that's what it would look like if it was a real Scrabble board or a crossword. You know, all of the spaces have their own outlines. So it's not hard to do it yourself and put it in. So I did that. And I think it's coming out really cute. So I'm very happy with that. And I know I'm going to have to put in a lot of work on it, which I don't usually Christmas stitch in, August, September, October, but I will because I definitely want to get this done and framed so I can give it as a gift at Christmas. But I don't think it's going to be a big deal because it does stitch up so fast. So having a blast with that one. That's one of those projects where, I start working on it and I just don't want to put it down, but I know I need to because I have other things that I want to do. My brain can't focus on one thing, especially right now. Okay. The next start is the sad one. This is my memorial piece for my clover. I had seen this pattern on a couple of different Flosstubes, maybe like a year ago or so. And it's from Noctiflora Designs. It's called For Inkling. So it's in honor of that designer's cat who passed away. This is what it looks like. And I had to grab it the second I saw it. I knew because we've been kind of assuming Clover's demise for several years now, as bad as that seems, but she was just going the wrong way for a long time. And it was kind of one of those things where every Christmas we were excited that she made it to another Christmas, and that's been like 3 or 4 Christmases now. So when I made the appointment to put her down, it was on Wednesday last week, but I made the appointment for Friday. And the first thing I did was kit this up. I looked for the perfect fabric, grabbed the floss, and got it all together. And on Thursday, I sat down with her and I started stitching on it because I wanted to get in a stitching session on it with her, with me, because you don't always get that opportunity, right? Sometimes it's sudden, but if you know and you can, I just felt like I needed to do it with her. So it's a very small start, but it's enough. Like it's what I wanted to get done with her there with me. So I will show you. This is on Dusk from BeStitchMe. It's a 20 count aida. It was a fabric of the month just a few months ago. I originally had it earmarked for something else, changed my mind. So it was just in my stash. So I pulled it out. I'm doing it 1/1. And this is where I am. You can see my little clover rainbow needle minder. So the whole thing says, I will see you in every shadow until I become one too. Something like that. I should have had it in front of me so I didn't mess that up, but I wanted to get in the I will see you in every shadow. So I did. So that's done. And my plan is to stitch the top cat with the wings and the border, get all the text in, but I'm not going to stitch that bottom cat that's on the pattern. Instead, I'm going to put her name down here with the year we got her, which was 2007, and the year that she passed, which is this year. And I'm going to leave this needle minder on it when I film it. So that's for my little clover girl. That color's pretty ish true. It's a little dustier purple than that. But you know how it goes. So it's a huge piece of fabric. I'll have plenty to do something else on it, but that's for my little clover girl. And I think I am going to really kind of hustle to get this finished because I would like to put it, this is sad. We kind of have like a memorial shelf in our living room for my mom. And I kind of want to put it on the same shelf. And I'd like to have that done relatively soon. Just kind of funny because this cat hated my mother. Not originally, but she grew to hate my mother. My mom always said, every cat in the world loves me except this cat. I was like, what'd you do to her? She's like, I didn't do anything to her. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. We always kind of joked that the Clover was the spirit of my grandmother because I adopted her like a few months after my grandma passed. And I was like, well, maybe it's your mom haunting you or something, Deb. I don't know. So you can tell that we knew it was that cat's time because, like, I'm sad, but, it was her time, and I'm glad she's not in pain anymore. She was deaf and arthritic and dehydrated, and it was not a good time. Let's move on to something a little nicer, a little more uplifting, shall we? Back to Max Pigeon. Started my next one out of this. This is also going to be a Christmas gift. And this is stitching up so fast, like I said before. This is going to take much time at all. This is Autumn Drizzle. So it looks like that. I just started this last night for reference. Probably put in about 5 or 6 hours on it yesterday. It's on a piece of 18 count raspberry latte from Grace Notes Fabrics, which is just a remnant that I had left over from another project. This behind it. This is how far I got in just a few hours. The most easy geometric shape fill-in block stitching you can ever imagine. And that fabric is definitely not true. It is a really pretty pinkish brown mottled fabric. So yeah. Like I said, this is also a Christmas gift. I'm not going to say who it's for. This person might definitely watch and probably knows this is for them, but you don't have proof. So I love it. His patterns are so fun. And like I said, that's I'm probably 25, maybe 20% finished with it in a day. So one cannot complain. So I figured I would show it since I got so much progress on it. And we'll see. I'm going to work on it again a little bit today, I think. And we'll see where it is next time. Probably half done with how fast that's going. Okay. Let's really quick go over plans. So I've been doing something fun. I decided that I wanted to try and make my own Q snaps. And I had my husband help me measure like how thick a regular Q snap, kind of like the piping was. And he said he thought it was an inch. I think he's incorrect. I think it was a half inch. So I think what I'm working with here is the exact same width. But I kind of wanted it to be thinner. So we might have to run more experiments, try and find some thinner pipe because I've decided I don't like nerd hoops. I just don't. I leave my projects and things too long. Even the things that I only have in for a few hours, I don't like the marks left on them. I do not like to iron every 5 seconds. So I am not a nerd hoop person. I'm going to give mine to members of my stitching group. So I'm making my own Q snaps so that I have more. And I said, I'm going to make a giant one first. So, I bought PVC pipe. I bought the elbows. I bought the clamps. I bought a saw. We went for it. So this baby is, I don't know, 13 by 10, something like that. It's big. She's real big. But for like my full coverage or like something where I want to have the whole thing in frame, this is fantastic. It's big, but my stand holds it, which it won't hold the nurge very well at all. It's not as pretty as a Q snap because it's got all the piping information on it, but like functionally, where that went, it's the same. Pick that up later. Augie's gonna go get that. Thank you, buddy. So, like, this is my new thing. I don't know. Oh, he's gonna be real obnoxious about this. Hold on. No, you can't have that. So that's my new venture. I have 2 more big things of the pipe, and I need to get a bigger saw. I underestimated the saw. I can show you. Maybe. I started making a smaller one, like a 10 by 10. I just hit myself in the face. Did anyone see that? Pretend you didn't. So yeah, I'm going to make it this 10 by 10. This is as far as I got before I decided that I needed the bigger saw because I was getting nowhere. And I'm going to do, I think, like a 6 by 6 because I want something real small. An 8 by 8 doesn't do it for me. I might make another one about this size. Maybe an 8 by 8. I don't know. I mean, I got all of the materials for less than 40 bucks and I'm going to get at least 5 or 6 snaps out of it. So let's hear it for being economical, I guess. It's a little more effort than I thought it was going to be, but maybe a bigger saw will make that easier. We'll just whip them right out. Other plans, Whip Go for this month, it's numbers 12 and 15. So I already finished number 12 for Stitch Go with reaching Skyward. The other Stitch Go is bath time, so it'll get 1,500 stitches this month. And for Whip Go, which if you're new, I do 4 days each Whip Go call. So I have Ragnarok as number 15, so that's exciting, my long dog. And then my number 12 is The Haunted Library from Lola Crow, which is so exciting. I'm really starting to kind of get into that Halloween kind of mood. So very excited to get that project out and work on that one for a few days this month as well. I'm also going to start 2 projects this month at least, because remember, we're probably just going to do what we want for the rest of the year, and then we'll reset in January. The first one I'm going to start, I've showed this before, I'm going to show this again. It's got cat hair all over it. It's in this cutie little bag. And it's Medicine and Poison from Witchy Stitchers. And I have my really pretty fall fabric that I'm going to start it on. I have all of the threads in here, so I'm very excited to get that one started. And then I also have the wolf from Cottage Garden Samplings. And I have my really pretty navy blue fabric from Mystic Fabrics that I picked up when I was there. So it'll match my son's school colors. And I'm going to start that on his first day of school. So I'm very excited for those. Probably won't be the only 2 things I start this month. That's fine. What else is going on this month? Needlework Marketplace is in full swing. Everybody's releases are coming out. That's been fun. I have a running list I'm keeping on my phone. I've been starring the ones that I absolutely want to get, and almost all of them are starred. So I'm definitely going to get the Lola Crow Murder in the Pumpkin Patch because I just adore that. And you know I'm not a bird person, but I do love a good pun. And a group of crows is a murder. So we're going to get that. And then Kesslin's Curious Simon. I love that. And there's so many possibilities of things that you could do with that, and combinations you could do with floss and fabric. So absolutely going to get that one. And then we'll see. So once I do decide which ones I'm going to get, I'll be sure to let you know. I'm really interested in knowing what everyone else is looking at because I always love to gauge what are the most popular patterns and see, like, do I fall in line with that or are my picks kind of out there? I think that Little Crow one is probably going to be a big hit though. So we'll see. The only other thing that I have going on stitching wise is Stitching in Indie's 2-year anniversary is this Sunday, and I'm going to try to go. I do have plans to go with Erin and Amity from the Hathaway Stitchers and Chandria. And I'm supposed to meet Krista, who is Quilt Church up there as well. She was my table mate at StitchCon this year, so I'm supposed to see her again. So I definitely want to be there. It's going to depend on my husband and how he is doing by then, but he's doing so much better already that I think he's going to be okay being here. I just have to make sure that he's able to like get lunch and dinner together for him and my son, and like everything is okay that way. And as long as he is, then I'm good to go. So very excited for that on Sunday. Fingers crossed. I have a very little bit of haul, but stick around even if you don't like haul, because part of it, there's some hand-dyed floss in here that you need to see. First, let me show you really quick the fabric of the month from BeStitchMe for July. I do the Mix Club, and I keep changing up my fabrics, and she's probably annoyed, but I'm on 25 count lugana right now. And so for the Mix Club this month, or in July, I guess, we got the neutral. So if you have not looked at yours for some reason yet, please look away. This is 25 count lugana in What the Hey. Really pretty yellow. It honestly is the color of my walls. It's blown out here, but it's like that color. So love her 25 count lugana. It's so soft. So I can't, I don't know what I'm going to put on this, but we'll see. We shall see. It's really pretty. I think I'm going to stick with the 25 count for a while, just because I find 1/1 on 25 count very easy, and I can get a huge project on that on a fat quarter, which is a bonus for sure. The next thing that I want to show, I got off of eBay. I got a steal for I got this for like $25, I think. This is the Art of Disney cross stitch kit. This is I forget what this one's called. Puppy Love, I think. Yeah, Puppy Love. So I see these for like 35, 40, 50 bucks all the time. I got it for less than 30 shipped. So I love that. I think that's super cute. I kind of want to start this on Saturday because it's this coming Saturday, the 9th, is my husband and my 17th wedding anniversary. And I kind of love this. We're not like fishing people, but it's cute. And it's Disney, and I love Disney. So it's the full kit, unopened, all the stuff. Glosses are already separated, which we love. So there goes I'm only going to start 2 more projects this month thing, because I really might start this on Saturday. Obviously, with him recovering from surgery, we have no plan. So probably just grab some casual dinner somewhere with our son. Hang out. So very cute. And then, so this goes into plans also for a start, but I think this is going to be a start in September. I placed an order with Pirate Robin for some floss, and I will show you if I can get it all out of here. Did I get 2 of those? I must have. So first of all, it came with a cutie little sticker. So I'll put that on my stitching stand with all my other stickers, businesses that I supported. So that's cute. These are not for anything specific, although I did find a London monochrome pattern that I kind of want to use these for, because it's like rain and there's a telephone ball, all the things. But I don't know if you can, yeah. So I just got it because it's pretty, to be honest, and I was making the free shipping threshold. So, I'd rather pay for something tangible than pay for the shipping, right? This is called Mystery. But then the real reason that I bought cloth off of there was because I had purchased that woodcut Stitch Witch from Raven Coven, I think. I want to do it on this fabric. This is 16 count coconut shell from BeStitchMe. So it's like a really dark, dirty, brownish gray. The needle minder. Less people, more cat. So I wanted to do it on this, and I didn't want to do black, even though that's what the called for is. So I went looking for something that was dark, so it would look like a wood cutting, but it wasn't black. And I found this called Midnight Blue, Pirate Robin. And I think this is going to look fabulous. So it kind of looks black, right? But it's not. Like in person, this is a really pretty dark blue. And I think it's going to be perfect. It's going to be hard for me to wait until you kind of see there. I'm trying to let the light shine on it so you can see just how blue it is, but it's hard. Kind of. It's just so pretty. I like the feel of it. You know how I like the feel of things. I'm a very tactile person. So yeah, I think that's going to be a really fun project. I can't wait to get that started. It's going to be a challenge not starting this month. But I have enough going on. I don't need to do that. Unless I decide I do need to do that. In which case, I'm going to do that. See, this is where my brain is now. Okay. That's it. That's not bad. Not bad this week for this 2 weeks. If you're Lisa watching this, my giveaway winner from technically 2 videos ago, but really last video, I have your package. It is ready to go out. Obviously with the husband going down and him being my mail facilitator, because that's what he does for a living, it's not gone out, but we are going to go get it out this week because he needs to get out of this house and move around. So that was my excuse to make him do that. So we're going to do that. I'm going to edit this video and get it up for all you guys that were missing me yesterday. Once again, every other Tuesday from now on, now that we're back in the swing of things. And that's it for me this time, guys. I hope everyone has a great next 2 weeks and that you get a lot of stitching done. And yeah, I will see y'all back here in 2 weeks. Bye, y'all.